Welcome to a special edition of Gospel Truth with Andrew Wommack. Today, in remembrance of the 1973 Roe v. Wade decision, Andrew is joined by the architect of the pro-life heartbeat bill, Janet Porter.
I moved back to Ohio. My husband looked at me and he said, hey, why don't you, he knew I'd been involved in the pro-life arena in Ohio, and he said, why don't you outlaw abortion while you're here? And I laughed at him, great woman of faith. I laughed and looked at my watch. I said, I got a few minutes. I could knock that. I'm here anyway, right? And 2 weeks later, God put in my heart the idea to keep hearts beating for the heartbeat bill.
And now, here's Andrew.
Welcome to our Wednesday's broadcast of the Gospel Truth. This is a very special edition of our program. Every year around the anniversary of Roe v. Wade, we do some programs on pro-life. And I'm offering something today. We'll make a better promotion on this at the end of the program. But this is my last, 7 to 10 years worth of programs that we've done. And today I've got Janet Porter with us. She's been on our program twice before, has had some great results, a lot of response from people. And anyway, Janet's going to be on here. We've got teaching that I have from the Scripture about what the Bible has to say about abortion. And there's just a lot of really good things. So this is good. It'll include all of the things we're doing this week, plus the last 7, 10 years, something like that. And Janet's going to be back again tomorrow, and we're going to do a little panel discussion with Melissa Oden and Kristen Hawken and Janet Porter. But Janet, it's great to have you back. You are a blessing.
Well, so are you. It's a privilege to be here.
I love you, Janet. And
it's mutual.
And we are seeing the end of Roe versus Wade. We don't know if it's all going to happen like in 2022, but anyway, we are approaching the end. And you are one of the people that's been out there fighting on this. So in case people don't know you, give a little background about your heartbeat bills and how you got involved and how long you've been at this, what's going on.
Sure, I've been fighting in the pro-life arena for most of my life. You've heard of the ban on partial birth abortion. I had the privilege to lobby to pass the first one of those. And the parental consent and the woman's right to know and the fetal homicide and all those kinds of laws I worked to pass. But in the end of the day, it didn't really save many lives. And if we still have a million dead children a year in America as a result of legalized abortion, we ought to maybe reevaluate what we've been doing. And so 11 years ago, I moved back to Ohio. My husband looked at me and he said, hey, why don't you, he knew I'd been involved in the pro-life arena in Ohio, and he said, why don't you outlaw abortion while you're here? And I laughed at him, great woman of faith. I laughed and looked at my watch. I said, I got a few minutes. I could knock that. I'm here anyway, right? And 2 weeks later, God put in my heart the idea to keep hearts beating for the heartbeat bill. And for about a decade, we were told it was impossible. But what has happened now is that the impossible has become inevitable. And, 11 years ago, we started this in November, when the idea hit me in the heartbeat bill in November of 2010. And here we are in November in 2021, and oral arguments on the heartbeat bill have been heard in the Supreme Court of the United States. We believe this will do what it was crafted to do, to be the arrow, to pierce the heart, to penetrate the heart of Roe versus Wade and bring abortion to an end.
And for those of you that don't know Janet, I tell you, this woman's stronger than horseradish. And she just doesn't take no for an answer. And we've had you on. That you need to get this and get the full testimony because we just don't have time to share it. But man, you have been a strong advocate. And you've had a lot of pro-life people resist this. They just are looking at, stopping this generations in the future, and you're after it right now.
I am tired of talking about abortion. I'm tired of marching about it, tired of debating it. It's time for it to end. And that's what's happened. Here's the best news. Since the last time we were here, and I told this to Dr. Dobson when I was on, and I said, Doc, last time I was on your show, I said, we're going to end abortion. Did you believe me? And he said, well, we've just been disappointed for so long. It's so many years, and it's just been so hard. And by the end of the second show, when we talked about the victory that took place in Texas, I said, hey, Doc, we're going to end abortion. I've been telling that to members of Congress, to state legislatures around the country and around the world. And he said to me something I'll never forget. I said, Doc, we're going to end abortion. He said, I believe you. He understands it now.
Him, huh?
There is a place in America where the killing has stopped in virtually every case. In the state of Texas, more than 100 babies are live and not die. We are looking at 40,000 babies a year in the state of Texas that will live. We don't have to wait for Roe to come down. This is not wait for the sweet by and by. Let's keep regulating around the edges of abortion. No, we can end it now. We've got what has been missing for the last 50 years, and that is a clear pathway to victory. That's the Texas heartbeat bill. Now, there were 14 heartbeat bills that have passed since we've introduced it, and 30 have been introduced around the country. But Texas is different.
So you're saying 30 states?
30 states have introduced it, 14 have passed it.
That is phenomenal.
Yeah.
Back when you were doing this 11 years ago, man, people thought you were crazy.
Well, we were crashing up against a brick wall and again, had to overcome 2 vetoes, and I had to run against the Senate president to get him to move. I mean, I'm just telling you, we did the due diligence to get this thing moving. How many failures it took to get to this success. But you know what? In the state of Texas, they did something a little different. Well, we've made it a felony. Well, we wanted to go after it criminally. We approached them with the bill. We talked with them about the drafting.
So you were involved in this Texas legislation?
You know, it's interesting because you and I are both on the board of the National Association of Christian Lawmakers, and we needed a Texas Senate sponsor. And Briscoe Cain was the House representative at the time. It introduced the bill, and you were there at that conference where Brian Hughes got up and he went to the platform. And here's a state senator from Texas who used his time at the podium to present the gospel. That's my guy. He's got a heart after God. That's the kind of people God uses. And so I texted Briscoe. I said, what do you think of Brian Hughes? I got a thumbs up emoji, and we were off to the races. I just asked him to sponsor the bill. Next thing you know, I'm sitting at the end of the table on the floor of the Texas General Assembly where the committee hearing was held. And at the end of the table was Brian Hughes, who spoke that day to present the gospel, who sponsored the Texas Heartbeat Bill, who just also happened to be the chairman of the committee that heard the bill that voted it out. And so it's an amazing thing. And what they did was something different. They had a civil penalty. And the civil penalty got to the heart of the motivation of abortion, and that is money. And so that if you can sue as a citizen, you can sue if you know that the heartbeat bill in Texas has been violated, then you can sue, and there's a $10,000 reward at the end of that lawsuit if you are successful.
And this isn't against the woman, this is against the doctor.
Against the abortionist, but anybody else who aids and abets in the abortion. So that's the clinic escorts, that's the employee, that's the insurance company. That means that we can end abortion. So I've been suspicious. All right, so I had some friends call up. I said, I want to make sure this is really happening. And we called around trying to get appointments, right? And they're not giving them. They are closed down, at least after the point of 6 weeks. So
Biden countersued or did something, and this is going before the Supreme Court. So tell us what's happening. Can they?
Sure. What happened is the best news of the day is even though this was heard before the Supreme Court, even though they have yet to decide, this is the critical thing, that they let the Texas law stay in effect. All right? That means children are protected right now in a major state in the United States of America. It's not the end of the world, but it's the beginning of life for these children. And so I listened to the oral arguments, and it was appalling, some of the things I've heard. The most outrageous was Justice Kagan, who said, first off, she was ridiculing the genius who found the kink in the armor, right? But she said, how dare they, the word she used, evade the command of the Supreme Court.
Oh, really?
And at that moment, I prayed a prayer. You hearing this, God?
Yeah.
Because pride comes before a fall. How dare they say that they sit in a position where 5 people on the Supreme Court, a majority of the court justices, can command the United States what to do? It is appalling. It is reprehensible, and it needs to be turned over, and I believe it will be. And I believe the fact that they let that law stay in effect is a very, very good sign.
And so if they uphold the Texas law, is this going to be other states introducing the exact same thing?
They're lined up to do it now. Texas is going. Alaska's doing a Texas version. I talked to a guy from Montana, a representative. North Carolina's got it going. Pennsylvania. It's now unstoppable. All right, it was an uphill battle, going through the elements, trying to get somewhere, and it was hard. I'm not going to lie to you. We broke through a brick wall, what they called impenetrable wall. But now, all the states that follow can happen. I was just on a call with some friends in Singapore who lead the pro-life movement there. And they said to me, oh, it's going to take years, and oh, it's going to be long. And I said, no. We paid that price. We fought that battle. We did take years to get it through. But now that wall has been broken down, not only is it easier for states to follow, it's easier for nations to follow, and that is what is happening.
That's awesome.
It really is.
So I've said this before, but we are making these programs before the Dobbs case is heard, before the Supreme Court, and so I don't know exactly how that's gone. But is the Dobbs case going to supersede the Texas law, or are these two different approaches towards the same thing?
Yeah, and I've always said do everything. You know what? It's not one thing over another, although right now we have a way that works. I don't think we need to debate it. This is no longer Janet's fantasy that, her dream of ending abortion. It's actually worked. I still remember Tom DeLay called. He says his wife is crying. The state of Texas, and he was very instrumental not only in the federal heartbeat bill, but also in Texas. And he said, all those years we couldn't defund abortion in Congress. And I just said to him, what's better than defunding abortion? Ending it. And that's where we are right now. We don't have to wait around for something from the court. We have the pathway. We have the template. You want to pass a heartbeat bill in your state? You can do it. This is the book that tells you how. It's not to promote it, but I'll tell you what, we can end it, and it doesn't take an army.
Let me just ask for some clarification. This book that you wrote and stuff, you were the one that started the heartbeat bill. You faced a lot of opposition. Wasn't Arkansas the first one to actually get it done?
Yep, Arkansas got it done, and we introduced it in 2011. Arkansas passed the first one, even though we were still struggling in a purple state. Arkansas passed it in 2013, North Dakota in 2013, Iowa in 2018, and then the other states that followed.
Now, we've offered this book before on my program, and you had to go reprint it. You had so many people.
Yes, thank you very much. It was wonderful.
How do they get your book here?
Sure, you can get it right online at faith2action.org. F2A.org is the shortcut. You can get them. We're signing the ones that come out on the website. I'm not a fan of Amazon, so that's the best place to get it is F2A.org. And this is the thing people need to understand. Even if I'm talking to people in New York, I'm talking to people in California, you know what, even if you live in the deepest purple state or the deepest blue state there is, just introducing the heartbeat bill saves lives. We saw it. Remember, we talked about, we rolled in the mobile ultrasound. Yeah. We brought in the youngest to ever testify. And that baby's beating heart, just that message, sent the message out statewide that abortion stops a beating heart. But with a heartbeat bill, a heartbeat law, a beating heart will stop abortion. And that's what we're seeing in Texas and soon to be all over America.
That's awesome. So what is the importance of the Dobbs case? Is the Texas law take precedent over it?
Well, the Dobbs case is 15 weeks, right? But that's good. And if we get it, it's a great victory. However, the heartbeat bill, it's not a 6-week ban as they talk about. It's not, 6 weeks.
So you're saying the Texas law is a heartbeat bill?
The Texas law is a heartbeat bill. It's the Texas heartbeat law.
Okay, but it's just the nuance of making it a civil penalty is
yes, that's the nuance
thing.
on our bill. They took it and they made it civil. But the thing about it is they know that on heartbeat they lose. All the polls have showed that people understand if you've got a fellow human being with a beating heart that's crying out like an SOS signal, that we need to not ignore it. To ignore it is heartless. To deny a heartbeat is to deny science. To ignore it is heartless. And so we're seeing people around the country ignite in this. In fact, the Barna poll showed 86% of Republicans favor the heartbeat bill. That's a nice place to be if you're in a Republican primary. 7 out of 10 in America overall favor the heartbeat bill. That's a pretty good number for protecting most every child
and
facing
man, this
abortion.
has changed. 10 years ago, I bet those numbers might have been the opposite.
Well, I'll tell you what's happening is, and I've told you before, when we had the congressional version, we brought in little baby Lincoln. Baby Lincoln was seen on the ultrasound. He was 18 weeks old in utero. There he was testifying before the Senate Judiciary Subcommittee. And as that baby's heartbeat was beating in the committee room for all to see, the people who had been protesting, the people who had been disruptive moments earlier, one of them was seen wiping tears from her eyes. And I realized that this baby's heart that can reach even the hardest of hearts, it can reach America. And that's what's happening. That's what's being done right now.
That's one of the reasons I had Melissa Oden on Monday of this week is because that's a person. It's not a hunk of flesh. It's not a woman's choice. It's not a part of her body.
My favorite Melissa Oden story is when we brought her in to testify for the first heartbeat bill, and I think it was 2011. She came and testified, and her now, I don't know how old she is now, a 17-year-old daughter, this little girl sitting on my lap, Olivia, her daughter. She's sitting on my lap, and there's Melissa testifying about how not only would abortion take the life of her life, that it would kill also the generations that follow, like her daughter. Yeah. So I'm holding little Olivia in my lap. I said, "Do you want to go see your mommy?" She looked at me like, "Can I? Is that okay?" And I just kind of scooted her forward. And at that moment, the atmosphere of this room, in the committee room, shifted as she picked up this little girl and said how abortion kills generations to follow. And the point was made.
You are amazing. Not many people would have done that. You just get in people's face.
This is the thing people don't understand. To be a Christian, a lot of people think it's just a list of do's and don'ts and what we can't do. They don't understand. that the Christian life is to dream with God and do the impossible, to see the impossible bow to the name of Jesus. That's what it's like to live as a Christian. And that we can step out in every corner of this culture, in every sphere of influence, and we can see the kingdom of God advanced. Because I'm tired of reacting, responding, and defending a shrinking piece of real estate. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of talking about it, debating it. It's going to end. And I'll just say this, for the record, Roe is dead. Roe is dead. Amen. It is a matter of time. It will happen. It is unstoppable right now.
I hear people praising God all over the world as they watch this program.
It's done. It's just a matter of going through the rest of the motions because it is already set. The destiny of Roe is the ash heap of history, and that's exactly where it will be.
Awesome. Awesome. I tell you what, you inspire me. I remember the first time you came on this program, I felt like, man, I'm a wimp. I'm not standing up.
I felt the same way to you. And you said, you can dream for mediocrity or you can dream for excellence. And you just raised the bar.
We challenge each other. And you just recently were telling me that, man, you saw somebody raised from the dead.
Yeah, this sounds crazy. And so we were filming because I believe that we can do more in Hollywood than just protest and boycott. We can create something. You know, God is the creator. If you want creativity, you go to the creator. He'll give it to you, right? And so we asked for something better than what we see on television. And there is not a quality Christian sitcom that I'm aware of. And I just said, you know what? Rather than just make a movie that's good, and one day I'm going to make a movie, but it seems like 2 hours it's over. It's a little bit of a flash in a pan. What if we had a sitcom that the world has used to disciple a nation? What if we could reach the lost? And what if we could disciple a nation of what it's like to live the Christian life? And so we set out by the end of next month, we will have an entire first season filmed.
Oh, wow, great.
And so we are filming.
I've seen some of that. It's good.
Yeah, it's better. It's getting better from what you saw. I'm embarrassed by what you saw. But what's happening is we were filming in Florida, and we were about 4.5 hours behind schedule. It was not a good day. We started late. There was all these things behind. But one of the guys prayed that we're not going to bow to the false god of Chronos, the tick-tock of the clock, where it's always, you got to do this. It's like this taskmaster. We're going to flow in the Spirit. And one of the cast members called and said that her nephew had just fallen in a pool and drowned. Little 3-year-old boy named Tristan. And they said he could not be resuscitated. He was dead. And we just saw this as a spiritual attack. And here we are, 4.5 hours behind schedule. And I stopped the filming. And I gathered everybody in the front of the lobby, and we just cried out to God for this little boy's life, to resurrect this boy. And there were some who sat there and they're like, oh no, here's Janet again with another impossibility. And we're how far behind? And I guess I'll endure it, because what can I do? And so 40 minutes we prayed. And then we shifted. We started saying, you know what? We need to hear some testimonies because we need our faith to increase. Faith is the pipeline for God's power. We need bigger. And so we started telling of stories we knew of people who were raised from the dead. And one of the guys, Rich Swingle, told about how his grandfather was raised from the dead. And every year on that date, his grandmother would tell them. And that's how he knew how his grandfather was raised from the dead. And I said, what is today? September 4th. That will be a day that we celebrate the resurrection of little Tristan. It's just ridiculous. I mean, it was ridiculous prayers. It's just, are you kidding me? The kid's dead, Jan. Give it up. Pray for the comfort of the family already. But I just said, you know what? We're going to pray to the God of the impossible, because every word in that Bible is true. It either is or it isn't. So we prayed. And we shifted our prayers from crying out in desperation to having faith-filled prayers of thanksgiving for raising this little boy from the dead. And 40 minutes later, one of the cast members, Janique Stewart, came running down the hall and screamed, "He's alive."
Praise
and
God.
It shifted every single cast and crew member forever, because all of this is true. We can live the life that God says we can live. And you know, when I took communion this morning, I take it most days, and I pray. Here's my prayer. I want everything you paid for. And that's what we can have.
Well, I tell you what, if I get in trouble, I want you to defend me. You're stronger than horseradish. It's awesome.
Well, it's the God of the impossible. I was the kid who was afraid to give a speech. You know, I get all emotional, kind of like now, and it was embarrassing. One of the girls, when I was a keynote at an event, and she came up to me and she said, I went through speakers training with you, and I have to tell you, I'm really surprised you ended up being our spokesperson. I mean, what do you say to that? Thank you very much for that. But that's it. God can use the unusual. He can use anybody. The only ability you need is availability. And Christ didn't die just to keep us safe. He didn't die to make us comfortable. He died to make us dangerous.
So all of these things, the Texas bill and the Dobbs and all of that, is this just, when is it going to end abortion? What's the process?
See, this
It
is the
doesn't
beautiful
just
thing.
stop like in January.
Guess what? We don't even have to wait for Roe to fall. It will fall, but we don't have to wait for it because we have a place in America where the killing has stopped for every child whose heartbeat can be heard. That means we have what's been missing. We have a way to get to our goal. And by the way, we're going to go back and get those other kids that we can't hear their heartbeats. Because by the way, as technology increases, we're going to hear them younger and younger. That heartbeat is beating at 18 days. Before the mother even knows she's pregnant. Our technology now hears it about 6 weeks or so, but we don't have to sit around and wait. And we don't have to debate about what's the best way to do it right now. We have the blueprint.
We've got a lot of cities that have already passed something that they are a pro-life city and you cannot perform an abortion in their city limits.
You know, when I first heard about the sanctuary cities, I thought, that's cute, that's nice. But guess what? It's effective because city officials can actually take something that's otherwise legal, so for example, fireworks, and they say, we're going to rule that in our city you can't do fireworks because they can be dangerous. One city in Florida says you can't throw candy at parades. Another city says you can't have chickens. Another city says you can have chickens. Guess what? Cities have an authority to rule over things that are otherwise legal, including abortion. And it's happening. It's happening all over Texas. It's now passing in Ohio. It's now spreading across the country. And what a great way to screen out those who run for city office, for city, county commission, city commission. We can now have a litmus test on who we should elect there.
That is awesome. So we are seeing the end of this in our lifetime very soon.
We are.
And you're one of those that's been fighting this battle for a long time. I sure appreciate everything you're doing.
Well, what a privilege to be. It didn't always feel like a privilege, you know, when we're losing and losing. But this is the thing. It's not about being liked by man, because you know I've got a chapter in here about the enemy within, about all the pro-life groups who fought against us, including the group I was a part of, Ohio Right to Life.
Yeah, you would expect people that were pro-abortion to fight against you, but pro-life people fought.
They fought harder than anyone else. If you want to know why abortion is legal in America, I'm going to tell you right now. It's the pro-life movement. It is the reason why abortion is legal in the United States. Let me give you one example. Not only in Ohio, where Right to Life came and testified against the bill, in the House, in the Senate, lobbied against it, peeled off sponsors as we were putting them on, called for a veto not once but twice, celebrated with the abortionists when it happened. But we're also looking at in Congress. I remember I was doing Dr. Dobson's program. I was in a congressional office, Steve King's office, and I said, here is the window we have. We have a Republican House, a Republican Senate, Republican President. We have pro-life justices being ushered in the court. We have a window to end abortion, and Congress chose to regulate it instead. We had a bill, the federal heartbeat bill, which would protect 9 out of 10 babies. Instead, they chose a bill that would protect 1%, the pain-capable bill that would protect 1% of babies. We had more co-sponsors, 174 co-sponsors on the federal heartbeat bill, more than any other pro-life bill in Congress, and they still chose to regulate abortion instead of end it. And that's got to stop. And shortly after that, they lost the majorities. And you know what? I hate to say it, they deserved it. And now we're in a place where people who are running for Congress, people who are running for office, they actually said, you know what? I'm not going to bow to the rhinos. I'm not going to become part of the Republican in name only and have power in order to keep it, to use babies to get elected instead of using elections to save babies. We're seeing a shift. I mean, you saw Ed Durr, who had spent, what was it, $200 to take out the second most powerful man, the president of the Senate in New Jersey. And he said the first thing he wants to do is get a heartbeat bill. We're seeing people that people are fed up with this. They're fed up with the go along, get along, the rhinos. And that's one of the reasons why President Trump was so amazing. I dedicated my book to President Trump because here's a guy that wouldn't bow to the establishment, who was willing to shake things up. He said, you know what? We're going to put the embassy in Jerusalem, even though every president promised to do it. He actually did. He's the guy that stood up for our liberties, who stood up for life.
We're running out of time. Tell them how they can get hold of your book, your website.
Sure. You can go to f2a.org or the longer address, F, the faith, the number 2, action.org, or the shortcut, F, the number 2, the letter A.org. You can just order one, click a button, order it, and it's something that will show you how to do it. It doesn't take an army. And there were times when I fought, I could count my friends on one hand. If you have a couple of friends, you can end abortion in your state. I know.
And everything that we've said here today is on this little USB, as well as maybe 7 years worth of my interviews that I've been doing with people. We've got this little book that is a scriptural answer to abortion, and just a lot of great things. Janet's going to be back with us on Thursday and Friday as we do a panel with Janet, Melissa Oden, and Kristen Hawkins. So join us again tomorrow. God bless you. Listen to the announcer as he gives you all this information.
We hope you've enjoyed Andrew's interview with Janet Porter. To find out more about Janet or her book titled A Heartbeat Away, visit her website at faith2action.org.
Once again, I'd like to encourage you to get this product. This is a little USB in here that has multiple years worth of my teachings about Roe versus Wade during that anniversary week. I've got teachings against abortion, what the Bible has to say about it. You will get the recordings of all of the interviews that we did this week. I promise you it'll be a blessing. Plus you'll get this little book on observing all things. So listen to our announcer as he gives you the information, and please get these materials today.
This week's interview with Melissa Oden, Kristen Hawkins, Janet Porter, as well as their 2-day panel discussion is available on a special Choose Life USB. Also included on this flash drive, you'll find many more interviews and testimonies relating to abortion. This Choose Life USB flash drive will be accompanied by the Observing All Things booklet that contains many statistics and scriptures with regard to abortion and other social issues. You can get these valuable resources today for a gift of any amount. This entire series is also available for audio download, absolutely free from our website. We want to say a special thank you to the grace partners of Andrew Wommack Ministries. Your gifts make it possible to put free ministry materials into the hands of many people in need. If you're not already a grace partner, we ask you to pray about becoming one today. You can become a grace partner through our website at awmi.net. While there, you can discover more product details and download additional free resources. You can also order resources or receive prayer by calling our helpline at 719-635-1111. Our helpline is open 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. To write us, use the address on your screen.
I tell you, I'm excited. God is going to do something special during these meetings.
God has put such a compassion in Andrew's heart to teach the truth.
I'm telling you, in the Spirit, you've got more power than the devil, more power than cancer, more power than poverty, more power than depression. You've got whatever it is that you need.
We love it because we're here and we're enjoying it, we're seeing it, and it's making a difference thanks to people like Andrew Wommack.
Andrew's teaching and the love that he has for God's Word and truth. It is the gospel truth.
I got great news to share with you, and that is that we paid off our parking garage. This is a 1,022 space, 5-story parking garage, cost us $28 million. And I paid off $28 million in 30 months. We saved over $6 million in interest. And so I just wanted to give this praise the Lord. Thank those of you who've been a part and who've enabled us to do this. And now we are already making plans on starting our student housing. We're going to have a live stream on January the 25th at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, and it's going to replace my normal Tuesday night Bible study, and we're going to share with you some pictures, ideas of what we're doing, and encourage you to become a part of it. So check that out on January the 25th, 6 p.m. Mountain Time for a live stream about our brand new student housing.